Whew. All right, come on in, come on in. Come on in, come on in. All right, so hello. My name is Ashley Kirkwood, and I am going to be chatting with you guys today about the fact that your name has weight. Hello. And really what we're going to be talking about is how to assess your value and the mindset behind why you do what you do, why you price the way you price, why you move through life the way you move through life, why you make the decisions that you make. And I'm going to be approaching it from the perspective of an Instagram post that I shared earlier today. So if you're watching this on Facebook or on LinkedIn, I believe you also got the same post. And I was just sharing, and wait, let me introduce myself. I always get ahead of myself. Take a sip of water. All right. One, tag any of your friends who need some encouragement. Your business owner friends, your speaker friends, your consultant friends, your friends who work a job but have a business on the side and need a little bit more motivation. This is for y'all, okay? If that's you, drop a me in the comments. So my name's Ashley Kirkwood. I am the founder of a firm called Mobile General Counsel, which helps savvy business owners to protect their brands and their intellectual property. We traditionally work with 7- and 8-figure businesses or multi-6-figure businesses who are set on scaling the products and services that they offer. So that is the firm that I founded. It is a wonderful firm. I recommend it all the time. As the founder, I am not as involved in the day-to-day, but I do touch every single case file that comes through our firm and help to develop the strategy. So that's that. The other company that I run, and I am more involved in the day-to-day, is Speak Your Way to Cash. And this is the business where we teach speakers how to land 5- and 6-figure corporate speaking offers, okay? Now, let me categorize that. We do not teach speakers how to make 5 or 6 figures per year, but how to develop 5- and 6-figure corporate speaking offers, meaning one contract, 6 figures, or one contract, 5 figures. And the reason why I started doing that specifically, the reason why that is my mission is because, right now we're in the process of writing. I was writing out weeks ago, months ago at this point. I was writing out my marketing plan. Shout out to Audrea Richmond of Uncloned Marketing. I was writing out my marketing plan, and one of the questions that she asks in her book, Uncloned, is, what's your why? Why are you doing this? What is the purpose behind why you're doing this? Why are you going so hard? And for me, it was like, I wanted to help women and men that looked like me to make money. And not just make money, but to go back into corporate America. These were institutions that traditionally wouldn't hire them or wouldn't promote them or wouldn't do these things for them, but not go back into corporate as employees, but as vendors who could serve them on a high level and offer them a transformation that they otherwise would not have experienced. So I wanted us to take our power back and go back to corporate, but in a position for us to be hired on contract, and not just on any contract, but on a large contract. Okay. It was really important to me. And this is what drives me for Speak Your Way to Cash. What drives me is I know for a fact that we're brilliant, that my people are brilliant, that our words have weight, that we have the intellectual capabilities to transform these organizations in a way that they could not have even imagined. But we don't always package it in the way that they're comfortable buying it. And the reason for that lack of packaging isn't skill set, but it's information. And because I'd been in corporate and sold to corporate and rubbed shoulders with the folks in corporate and seen contracts valued at 7+ figures and tried cases for some of the largest organizations in the world, I knew the language. I learned the language. And because I'm a lawyer, I know that people's entire mindset shifts on the words that you speak. One of the things that a great lawyer will do is they will master the English language so that they can persuade the court or people on behalf of their clients. I take that same thought process and methodology to the way that I teach people sales. Okay. So for me, it was like, I want to help my people make money in corporate America, and I want to help them facilitate a transformation that these corporate companies need. Right? It's something that they need, and that's a really critical thing, because for me, one of my struggles early on in business was, it was like I worked so hard to gather up these accolades. And it was really hard for me to shift from, I'm going to be a lawyer at a big law firm with a fancy name. And I'm going to go to law. I went to Northwestern Law School. It's a good law school. Okay. Some of y'all, if you don't know, it's a good law school, right? We're talking about like top 12 in the country, world renowned law school. And I worked so hard to get there and to get that badge of honor that when I got all that stuff, I felt really validated. And so it was hard for me to leave all of that and still feel validated. Like to feel like, even absent me being affiliated with that firm, working there day to day, my voice still should command millions of dollars. My voice still should command $300,000-$400,000 corporate contracts. Like I felt self-conscious about that, and I wanted to make sure that if I was going to go back into corporate, I didn't go back into corporate in a way that it could diminish my light. Because a lot of times, and I don't know if any of y'all, look, I'm not in corporate anymore, so I can tell y'all the truth. A lot of times when I would go to corporate, let me just tell y'all my walk into the office at my first law firm. Let me tell y'all my walk into the office. It's a beautiful building, 300 North LaSalle. I walk into the building and immediately I see a line of security guards, all Black. They greet me, "Morning, Miss Kirkwood." Okay. Keep traveling down these halls. Marble floors, beautiful security all the way around, all Black, right? I walk through the little turnstile, swipe my badge or whatever, go up on the elevator. And then as I get off the elevator, I see someone delivering the mail, Black. I go past the security desks, all the security. Here's what I want you to imagine. It's an office floor. On the perimeter of the floor are offices, right? It's offices all around the perimeter of the floor. All of the offices have beautiful views of the city. On the inside is where all the secretaries sit. So when you get off the elevator and you go into the glass doors for where the office building is set up, I had to walk by all the secretary desks. Now, the mail guy, Black, walked by the secretary desk. All the secretaries, for the most part, were white. For the most part, were white women, right? Follow me on this. Then I start walking past all the desks along the perimeter. The vast majority of the associate offices that I passed were white, right? I get to my desk. I go inside my office and I closed my door. Immediately, I walked in my office almost every day and I closed my door. Then I sat down and I was like, okay, this is my space. This is my safe space. Inside my office with my door closed, I control this environment. And then I started playing my music. Whatever music I was listening to, it was a Black person singing or a Black person rapping. I'm gonna just be honest with you all. And the reason I share that is because every single day that I took this walk, I was getting messages. Okay, I was getting messages, and the message was security can be Black, the mail staff can be Black, but you the outlier here, sis. You're the only sister here, sis, that's walking into one of these offices. And so regardless of whether the firm intended to send me that message or not, that was the message that I received. And so what I began to internalize was that, yeah, you're on borrowed time here. You don't really belong here. And I don't know if companies realize this, but the entire reason why representation matters and diversity matters, one, we bring diversity of thought to your workspace. Oftentimes, that diversity of thought will save you trillions of dollars on mistakes that you will otherwise make in this very sensitive climate. So it's critical for that. But two, even if you hire one, like me, I was the one that you hired. Even if you hire one, if there is not a consistency of representation or a community there that can support that one that you've hired, they're not seeing themselves long-term here. So imagine this. I take this walk every day. Hundreds of times I took this walk. And so sometimes the reason why when we Black folk, let me just talk to us for a minute. I know I got some other folk there too. Hang tight. You can apply this as well. But the reason why it's so critical for us to know exactly who we are and know that our voice has weight is because oftentimes we're in environments that send us messages that it doesn't, right? And so even if you're a confident person, and thank God for my parents who instilled confidence in me and who instilled all of these different beautiful things in me. Like they taught me a lot about how to think about who I was. Like they were very big on like, you're brilliant, you're beautiful, you can do anything you put your mind to. We will help you as much as we can. If there's someone you want to know and we don't know them, we'll find someone. Like they facilitated confidence in my life. But you may not have had that. And even if you have that, you have to be really careful about what you internalize about the environments that you're in. And I know for a fact there are some of you sitting in corporations right now that have a similar experience to me. And so you go to corporate all day and it basically tells you that you don't belong either externally or by way of the lack of diversity in the organization. And then you're supposed to run a company and feel like the most confident person in the world. And without work happening in between the two environments, it ain't gonna happen. So I wanted to talk to you guys about this. And what I wanted to talk to you about is the fact that your voice has weight. And one of the things I want you to do and I want you to consider, and for those of you on right now, if you are still working in corporate, just drop corporate hero. And if you are a full-time entrepreneur, just drop full-time entrepreneur. Okay. So while I'm waiting for y'all to drop that, here's what we're gonna do. I want you, someone says, oh my God, I've experienced that at law firms and even realized I was doing that. Yeah. Yeah, it's real. It is real. It is real. So I appreciate you sharing that and being honest about that. Here's the thing. There are messages that we're sent in the media. There's messages that we're sent in corporate America. And if you aren't conscious of the messages that are being sent to you, you can't even counteract it with positive mindset, with affirmations, with building yourself up, with telling yourself who you are. Studies show we have upwards of 70,000 thoughts per day. Over 80% of the thoughts that we have are negative thoughts. That's what it is. And so you, in those negative thoughts, a lot of them come from environment. So be very, 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 very careful about the environment that you're in. But why does this even matter? And why am I talking about this to you all on this late afternoon, close to the time where we're about to cut off from work for the day? The reason why this matters and the reason why this is important and the reason why I want you all to understand what is being fed into your spirit is because if you can't properly see yourself, you'll never be able to properly price your services. Somebody drop that in the chat for me. If you can't properly see yourself, you'll never be able to properly price your services. So if you're wondering why you can't properly negotiate or advocate for yourself, it's probably because you can't properly see yourself. And you probably can't properly see yourself because of the environment that you're in or the things that you feed into your spirit about yourself. And some of this can be either conscious or unconscious. I'm telling you, that walk that I took to work every day, it wasn't until I left corporate America that I realized it was that walk that was feeding me negative messages about my self-worth and about who I am. No one ever said anything out of pocket to me. No one ever said anything disrespectful to me, but it was walking and not seeing myself represented on the walls, in the art, in the people that were promoted, in the people that were higher up, that still told me things about myself. And I have several friends that are still in that environment, making great money, living a good life, but still dealing with those unconscious messages. And they'll have to figure out a way to deal with that. But for you watching this live, who more than likely has a business, who more than likely has a message they want to get out into the world, for you who wants to coach people to be their best selves, for you who wants to transform the way organizations operate, you have to have a proper view of yourself. You have to have a proper view of yourself, because if you don't, you will spread the wrong message about who you are. And it's critical. And let me take it a step further. Let's say you're a speaker on this live and you're watching this live because you're like, man, I'm gonna go to Ashley's event in November. I want to hear a little bit more about what she has to offer. If you're a speaker watching this live and what you do is help companies to make their employees more productive, and what you'll have to do is to give companies harsh feedback or honest feedback about how they're operating and why they're not operating appropriately, you got to have enough confidence in your thoughts, in your beliefs, and in your actions to convey that message to your client. Most service providers, I think, tell clients what they want to hear. Why? Because they're being paid by the client. So in most instances, when you're an employee, the reason why employees are very slow to say anything negative about their company publicly, or say anything negative about their manager's management style, or say anything negative, period, is because they don't want to risk their income. And for service providers, it can be the same thing. If you aren't 100% confident in what you provide and what you offer, you won't even be a good service provider because you'll be too scared to challenge your client in the areas they need to be challenged in. And here's the thing. You're a leader to your clients. You need your clients to follow you, but they're not going to follow you if you don't have a direction, if you don't know where you're going, if you don't know who you are and why you are the way you are and what your mission is in life. And so I would implore everyone watching this to evaluate, am I at the place that I'm at in my life because I want to be, or because I've settled for the messages that other people have given me about who I'm supposed to be? Like, what do you want? What do you think? How do you feel about it? Because it's when you get into that, when you unlock that, that you can then go into any organization and make them recommendations and suggestions. But without that, you can't. And if you can't properly see yourself, you'll never be able to properly price your services. So I want you to see yourself properly. So let's talk about how to do that. Number one, most people set their prices based on what they were paid in their former job. So for the first couple of months of entrepreneurship, I was like, oh, okay. So in my old job, I made I think it was like $300K a year. And I don't know what that comes out to hourly, maybe like $80 or $100 an hour. Maybe it's a little more. Let me see. You think in this hourly mindset, you're like, okay, well, I made this per year and I worked 40 weeks I worked a lot more than 40, actually. Let's see, 12, okay, divided by 4. Okay, divided by 40. So yeah, it was like over $100 an hour. That was what I made on my old job. So that's one way people price themselves. They're like, okay, I'm gonna price my services based on my hourly rate at my old job. I don't recommend that. One, hourly rate pricing works really well when you know, like, I am going to get this many hours and it's guaranteed. But as a service provider, and for the people that I work with, speakers, thought leaders, experts, you need to price your services based on the value that you provide to the client. And here's why. Once you go in and deliver that talk or offer them that workshop series, they're going to be able to to derive benefits from that talk or from that workshop series for life. You're not pricing for the moment, you're pricing for life. Okay, you can never take the information. Once someone comes to my event or they work with me as a coach, the information that I give them and I teach them, they have that information for life. They don't have it for a moment. They don't just forget the transformation that I facilitated. No, that's for life. So you want to make sure that you're pricing your services for the value of what they're going to get for life. That's number one. So I would ditch the mindset of like, oh, this is what I made hourly. I'm just going to price by the hour. And if they only want me to speak for an hour, I'm just going to charge like $200. Ooh, that's even more than my hourly rate. No, that doesn't make sense. You don't want to do that at all. That's not the way it works. You want to price based on the value that you provide. Also, and this is where value-based pricing comes directly in it like clashes directly with the way that you see yourself. Because if you don't see yourself properly, you will undervalue the services that you give others. Okay, so you have to see yourself properly. So I can't do value-based pricing on the Currency of Confidence program and believe like, well, you know, what I say doesn't really matter that much. I mean, maybe I'll help them with some confidence, maybe I won't. You don't want to do it like that, because here's the thing. If you don't see yourself properly, you won't see the value that you provide as transformational, and thus you'll undercharge for it. So for everyone who's watching this, who's like, man, I have a business, but I don't get high paying clients, and my rate is this and my rate is that. If you feel like you're being underpaid, it's not your client's fault. It's your fault because you don't see yourself properly, so you don't charge appropriately. So the first thing you have to fix before you can even start changing your price is your view of yourself. Let me prove it to you. Because even if I were to tell you, all right, right now, go on your website, a one-time talk is now $15,000. Okay, you may change the price on the website, but when it comes time for you to explain to a client why your price is $15,000 for your keynote presentation or for your single workshop, if you don't see yourself appropriately, you'll stumble. You'll stumble through it. You'll be like, ooh, I don't know why. I don't know. No, you have to have a proper view of yourself. And you have to be able to clearly articulate what the value is that you're going to give a client, and why the framework and the methodology that you teach is so incredibly important and life-changing. Okay, so a lot of our position in life, this is, just take notes if you're picking up if you're picking up what I'm setting down, just take some notes on this. A lot of the reason why we are where we are in life is because of how we view ourselves. It's because of how we view ourselves. And people do not want to be honest about this. They don't want to be honest about this. I don't even know if I'm going to keep this live up because I'm about to say some real things, okay? We are where we are because of how we view ourselves. When someone comes to me and they're like, they only do free women empowerment brunch panels, it's because they view the information that they provide as being appropriate for that audience and that audience alone. Okay? That's just it. If you didn't think that you could make an impact there, if you didn't think that you would have impact there and that it would be fun and that people would listen to what you had to say, you wouldn't even be talking to that audience because you don't think that you would have an impact there. Now let me rewind. Most people don't sell to large corporations because they think the corporation is too big and that they're too small and that their voice is too small. Let's just be honest. Can we be honest about something? Because I'm going to tell you something. When I first left corporate, I was only selling to like really small businesses. I was like, well, I'm going to help small businesses because those big companies, they don't value my voice. They don't need me. They don't want to do that. I'm just going to help small businesses. And it was my husband that was like, oh, let me tell you why you only selling to small businesses. It's because you don't want the responsibility of leveling up your services to the degree that you should be operating at. You want to sell to smaller businesses because you think they'll have smaller expectations. Now, he ain't say it that eloquently. You know, Chris would be like, oh, well, Chris was like, you're just playing with yourself, you know. But essentially, that's what he had me to realize about myself. It's like, I was selling to an audience that I felt comfortable with because I knew that it wouldn't require me to stretch myself outside of where I was at. I could easily infiltrate that market. I hear so many speakers like, well, isn't it easy to just sell to corporate or sell to colleges or sell to high schools? Or isn't it easy to do this? Or isn't it easy to do that? Let me be honest. If you're making your business decisions, okay, your business decisions based on what is going to be the easiest market for you to infiltrate, are you really working for legacy? Are you really where you're supposed to be? And let me tell y'all something else. I had a program, it was so long ago, and the program was like $30 a month. $30 a month. Come on now. Our programs are like no, I don't have anything like that now, but this is what it was, $30 a month. And I was selling this $30 a month program, and I was selling it, and I was telling people why they should join it, and I was sending voice notes, and I was doing all this stuff, and it didn't even sell that good, y'all. Now, we have programs between $2,000 and $5,000 per month. And really, this is just on the speaking side. Our corporate practice prices between $6,000 and $25,000 per month, right? But let me tell you where your girl was at. $30 a month. And the reason why I was selling it at that price was because I didn't want to work hard and live up to this level that I thought I had to be on if I was going to be selling to larger corporations. I didn't want to live up to it. I didn't want to live up to it. And it didn't even sell well. We started raising our prices. Our income grew 400% during the pandemic once we started pricing for value and selling to people who needed the solutions that we were going to provide. Here's the other thing. You want to make lifelong transformation. You want to help people change their lives. You want to make sure that people see themselves bigger. You need to start selling to people who are ready to invest at that level, because before people, money is a very small step in the transformation journey. But let me tell you this, people that are willing to give you a credit card for a transformation are ready to at least take the first step. Here, I'm trying to get people to change their intangible selves. If you won't even give me a tangible representation of where I need you to be, you're not going to get to the intangible stuff. It is so easy for me to pay someone some money. Like for me to be like, all right, I really want to do this. All right, well, the first step is this invoice. That's not the hard part. You paying my rate, whatever the rate is not the hard part. The work is the hard part. And if I'm not confident enough to lead you on the path to paying the rate, I'm not going to be confident enough to challenge you to do the work. That's what it is. That's what it is. Let me be honest about that. And now here's the thing, because some of you, I can see you thinking. Some of you are thinking right now, well, Ashley, people don't have that kind of money. People don't have this. People don't have that. That within itself is a limiting belief. Because the truth is people do have it, but you know who may not have it? The people that you're talking to. And why don't they have it? Because you're using broke person's language with them. Let me just be honest about this. Because this may be offensive, but honestly, I don't really care. I'm just gonna, because I'm talking to my people. If it doesn't relate to you, then just scroll on by. Some people try to sell to 7- and 8-figure businesses talking very low. So me, I make money in my business. I pay invoices in my business. People sell to me all the time. But when you sell to me and you say things like, do you want to have your first $5,000 month? Do you want to have your first $10,000 month? Do you want to land your first client? I know that they're not talking to me. I don't hear that because it's not directed at me. But when you start talking up, you give your audience an opportunity to come up to where you're talking. I'm not going to come down. You know what I mean? Like I need to speak a certain kind of way because my people hear me. Everybody won't. Some people will be repelled. Right when I said 6,000 a month, somebody logged off. They were like, 6,000 a month? I ain't, girl, bye. Because you're not my people. There are companies that when I say that it starts at $15,000, they're like, oh, our boss would never pay that. Excellent. Because every no is making room for the yes. And some of you can't get those big yeses because you leave your plate is filled with little yeses that aren't even big enough for where you're going. You don't even have room for a $150,000 client because you're working 70 hours a week at people paying you $1,000 each. So you don't have room for the big yes. Every time you log in, the people that you go to for coaching and counseling, they're all speaking low. You spend half your day watching like reality TV, and I'm not coming at, because I love a good Married at First Sight, but you spend all your time there. You're not putting nothing in your mind about billionaire mindset or millionaire mindset. You don't know what's going on in the stock market, but yet you want to sell to billion-dollar companies. If you don't have the language for where your audience is, you can't sell to them. And if your language is literally attracting people that don't have budgets, don't see value in what you offer, it is probably the Lord telling you it's time to come up. Sometimes you won't even be successful selling little stuff in little packages because you're not supposed to play there. And I believe, this is what I believe from my life. Let me not even talk about y'all life. For my life, this is what I believe. If this is making sense to you, just drop a yes, yes. If it's blessing you, drop blessing me. Let me know. Talk back to your girl. Here's what I believe from my life. I believe that God would have never allowed my business to thrive on smaller packages because there was an audience that needed me to reach them and to talk to them and to connect with them. And they didn't even hear like the stuff I was selling, the way I was speaking, they couldn't even hear that because they were way up here, but I was selling way down here, right? So I believe God purposefully allowed for me to have failed launches for small services because I knew and he knew I wasn't supposed to be playing there anyways. There are some of you that are supposed to be playing there. You're the digital product queen. You can sell stuff on repeat all day long. You have zero interest in going back to corporate. In fact, you never worked in corporate. You're like, I don't want to do nothing with corporate. But if you have a particular desire to go higher, to play higher, to go into the largest organizations in the world, to have on your website Google and Forbes and all this other stuff. And let me be clear, not to have them on your website because you spoke at like the Google thing that allows you to speak for free or you were in Forbes this one time. No. If you want to have them on your website and it represents the fact that they paid you multi-5 and 6-figure checks, then you need to follow that desire. Do not allow fear to make you think that something isn't for you. I don't have a thought about my business that I cannot achieve. I don't have a thought about my life that's there just because. If you're dreaming big, if you're thinking big amongst all the people in the world who aren't, you're supposed to do something with that. I literally feel right now like there are people who are like, you have these thoughts in your mind. And let me know if this is you. Just be bold. We all friends. I haven't told y'all about my mistakes. If you've ever had a thought about your business and you had this thought, you were like, man, I would love to have $1 million a year. Man, how should she get that client? I would love to have Google as a client. Man, I would love to have a contract for X amount of dollars. Man, I would love that. I would love to speak on that stage. If you've ever had a thought like that, you need to follow that desire. You need to follow that desire because guess what I can tell you for sure and for certain? There are billions of people. What I say, 7.4, how many people is it on this planet? It's a lot, okay? Let me see. I'm going to look it up. I'm going to look it up because I need to be 7.674 billion people on this planet, according to Google. Now, that number could be plus or minus, whatever. But there are so many people on this planet, and I can tell you that many of them are not having thoughts about expansion, about growth, about hiring, about making people's lives better, about leaving a legacy, about setting up a trust and actually funding it with a whole lot of stuff in it. A lot of them are not having that thought because some adults have decided that dreaming is for kids. Some adults have decided that my dreams didn't come true, and so I can't try anymore. Some people have decided that, you know what, that was just a pipe dream. Some people watch TV shows about rich folks but never could see themselves being featured. But you, not you. You've had that thought. And because you're around people who don't understand that thought and who don't dream like you and who don't have vision, you've kind of tucked it away. You're like, well, that is a good dream, but how could I do that? Look at what I have going on right now. It only takes one yes to change your entire life. And guess what? Guess what? I gotta be exact with y'all. There are 1,440 minutes in every single day. 1,440 minutes in every single day. That yes could come in any one of those minutes. Every morning you wake up, you have 1,144 minutes that something good could happen for you. But if you don't even decide to step towards it, then it's not going to happen. So I need you guys to start stepping towards those dreams that you've tucked away. I don't know why it is that we believe dreaming is for kids and that it's not for adults. But if every major billion-dollar corporation in this world, hey, Andrea, started with a thought. It started with a dream. And so of the 7+ billion people that are on this planet, not all of them are having dreams. Not all of them are having big thoughts. But if you are, you need to walk towards that thing. I don't care where you're at in your business right now. I don't care what your background is, what your qualifications are. I have a saying that I say, God doesn't tease me. I don't know what he do for you, but he does not tease me. So if I have a thought about something or I have a goal, even if I'm petrified, I'm supposed to walk towards that goal. And I'm supposed to speak that goal boldly to the degree that I will make proclamations about things. And if it doesn't come to pass, I'm out there. I'm on water. I done already said it. I've already said it, you know, so something gonna have to happen. He gonna have to make something happen. You know what I mean? And I bring this up because one of the things we're doing at Speaker Ready Cash Live this year is we're doing a Dreamer's Den. And I'm going to facilitate a process by which y'all can dream. Y'all who join me, that is. Y'all who join me at the event. And when this was first placed on my heart, I thought it was so weird. I was like, why would I do a Dreamer's Den? That is so like, for what? And then I began to study the power of dreams, the power of thought, the power that happens in your subconscious mind. And what I want is to facilitate a space, a moment in time where every single person who joins me at Speak Your Way to Cash Live has some moment in time where they can dream big, where they can sit in a place of peace and think about how grandiose and how grand their life can be. And I know for a fact it's going to be so unbelievably powerful. I know it is. I know it is, because so many of us stop dreaming. We stop dreaming as kids. We think that we just have these big ideas and these big thoughts for no apparent reason, but that can't be the case. There are so many people in life who have literally given up on themselves, and it shows in their day-to-day actions. People wonder, how are some people self-motivated and others not? There are some of us who are still dreaming. So yeah, we're proud of where we're at. Yeah, we're excited about the opportunities that God has blessed us to experience. But at the end of the day, there are still things in my heart that have not yet come to pass that I'm waiting on and fully expecting to come to pass. There are ideas that I get from just waking up excited about life, because guess what? I got 1,440 minutes in every single day. And in any one of those minutes, my whole life could change. And so for those of you watching who are like, how do I stay motivated? Keep that number. Write that number down. And I want you to look at that number every morning. We got 1,440 minutes today. In any one of those minutes, my life could change. In any one of those minutes, I could get an email that'll change my life. In any one of those minutes, I could have a thought that will shift the direction of my business. In any one of those minutes, I could pitch a client and they could respond favorably for a phone call that could change my business. In any one of those minutes, my life could change. I don't want you to ever think that it's over for you because of what you've been through, or like look at other people who've succeeded and be like, oh, they've got it, but I never can. I never want to come off like that. The truth is, I have doubts all the time. All the time. Today had a doubt. You know what I mean? Like I get big invoices and I'm like, whoo, how are we going to make this work? And then I think to myself, okay, there's a reason I'm seeing this. There's a reason I'm feeling this. What is that reason? I feel like sometimes we think that we feel uncomfortable. And so we should like shut it down. Like, oh, this makes me uncomfortable. Let me turn away from this. Let me not lean into the uncomfortability. But why are you feeling that? What is it telling you? When I feel nervous, like I'm working on a deal right now and I'm kind of nervous about it. We're closing some big things. When I feel nervous about an opportunity or a deal or anything like that, I'm like, okay, I feel a little nervous. Why? What is it telling me? What can I learn from this? Is this how my clients feel? Do I need to be more empathetic to what they're going through when they're pitching big deals? Like, okay, and is it nerves or is it excitement? We have to find proper labels for what we're going through. Are you nervous or are you excited? Are you afraid or are you anxious? And if you're anxious, why are you anxious? If you're anxious, what don't you believe about your future that you need to believe to calm that anxiety? Like if I knew that everything would work out for my good regardless, would I ever feel anxious? Could I help that anxiety go down a little bit? Because I feel I have felt anxious recently, like the last couple of weeks. And I'm like, okay, but Ashley, you're walking in. This is what I tell myself. I'm gonna just share this with y'all. If it blesses you, let me know in the comments. But I'm gonna tell y'all what I say to myself. When I start feeling anxious, I'm like, Ashley, you're feeling anxious, but you're walking in your assignment. You're helping people. You're helping people transform their business. You're helping people think differently. You're doing what you're supposed to do. Are you out of order? Are you out of alignment? Are you playing small? Because if you're playing small, you may need to feel a little anxious. When you play small, girl, it don't work. You gotta play big. What my life has shown me is that when I go against all the odds, it works. What my life has shown me that when I start getting comfortable, when I start going for what everyone else does, when I start looking at the left and looking at the right and trying to be more like my peers, it doesn't work. I have to be unapologetically me. I have to see myself in the fullness of who God created me to be. And I have to believe all the promises. I have to believe all the promises that are affiliated with what I have going on. It is only then that I don't need to be anxious because I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. So you got to ask yourself the question of, why are you feeling the way you're feeling? Are you playing small? Who do you need to be affiliated with to help you unlock your next level? Are you affiliated with those people or not? Do you need to switch up who you're listening to? Who's speaking into your hearing? You may need to, okay? You may need to. So here's what I want to do. Because we went kind of off on a tangent. I'll probably keep this up. I know I said I may not, but I'll probably keep it up. What I want to do is I want to personally and formally invite you guys to join me at Speak Your Way to Cash Live. Look, this is going to be the most powerful event for speakers and thought leaders on the planet. We are literally going to have 3 days where I will be coaching you to your next level in business, okay? We start off on day one talking about mindset. That's where we do this dreamer's den that we've been talking about. We also have a language lab where I'm going to literally give you, and you get I think I have the workbook from last year. But people who attend will be getting our welcome box, right? They'll be getting a welcome box. And you'll also get a workbook that'll actually walk you through. It's like a companion guide for the sessions. And one of the things that you'll get is a list of terms that you can utilize on your sales calls to close deals, right? So that's a really important part of the event, but it is a 3-day event. Let me coach you for 3 days and watch how it literally changes your life. And what we've done is we've recently added a payment plan option. So the event is hybrid. It's a virtual event and it has an in-person element to it. If you decide to attend the event virtually and you want to get on a payment plan, like you want to spread out your payments, I don't know your life, do what you got to do. Then you want to click on the payment plan option on the sales page and it'll literally allow you to reserve your seat for $100 down. Or you can attend the in-person event and reserve your seat for $300 down. Now, the in-person ticket is VIP. It is $2,500 to attend in person, and it's $957 right now to get your virtual ticket, but that's the early bird rate, which expires the end of this month. Also, for people who get the early bird ticket, you will be able to attend our pre-event prospecting party, which is where I will be showing you how I prospect and pitch corporate clients live. I'll do a whole sales campaign live in front of you so you can ask questions. You'll see all the tech I use. You'll know how I choose the job titles that I'm targeting, all of that stuff. This pre-event prospecting party is worth the entire cost of the event on its own. So I want you to attend. It's 3 days. It's a Speak Your Way to Cash event. So there's a lot of information in 3 days. We make sure that you get what you need. You get a workbook, a welcome box. It is a full-on experience, and you will be able to do things like talk to the other attendees. We've worked in mini mastermind breakout sessions where you'll be able to communicate with attendees. And if you do the VIP in-person ticket, because you may be wondering, like, if I come in person, what do I get? 3 additional bonus breakfast Q&A sessions with me. We'll provide the full spread of breakfast. I'll be there, 3 bonus sessions there. And then you also get to attend an Ashley Unplugged event, which is where we just let our hair down. We do not record, so we can get real about what this life is like. And it's going to be off the chain. We will have a photographer there to take some pictures because I know y'all going to be looking cute, but we will not be recording. So that is only for the folks who are attending live and in person VIP. In addition to the 3 sessions and the bonus sessions, you also get a welcome gift. You get to attend the event in person. You're able to get preferred seating for the hot seat coaching sessions and some more stuff that we have just for VIP people that is under wraps. But that is how you can kick it with me for 3 days and get coached. Oh, and the best thing, every attendee of the event is going to get an advanced reader copy of the Speak Your Way to Cash book. Not even on the market yet for everyone else, but it will be available for those who attend the event live. So I want you to attend this event. Go to speakyourwaytocash.com/event to get your ticket. If you're watching this on Instagram, click the link in my bio. If you're listening to it on the podcast, then just go to speakyourwaytocash.com/event. And for everyone else, like it is really going to be a next level experience. If you have any questions, DM me, shoot me a message. But I'm so excited about the sessions that we have because they're not like sessions at other events. They're really are, even our other events, because this is our 6th time doing this event, and every year it's incredible. But this year I really sat and thought a lot about how can I ensure that when people leave, they're ready for the next level. And that is the vantage point from which we plan this event. People coming don't have to already be getting paid to speak. This could be your first experience with adding speaking as a revenue stream to your business. Totally fine and okay. But if you are already getting paid to speak and you just want to take it to the next level, you're going to need to be in the room. You're going to need to be in the room because it really is going to be transformational in that way. But regardless of what you do, I want you all to remember the 1,400 minutes that you get every single day. 1,400 minutes that you get every single day. Your life can change in any one of those minutes. What I want to do at Speak Your Way to Cash Live is facilitate a space where thought leaders, experts, speakers, consultants, and trainers, and anyone else who wants to make speaking a part of their revenue stream can dream beyond their wildest imagination. And not just dream it, but figure out what are the pieces you need to implement in your business to develop a life that you love. I used to work for corporate 18+ hour days and maybe take a 2-week vacation. We have been able to take several months off at a time, like working in this business because of the way we set it up, because of the way we price, because of the way we pitch and package our proposals. Corporate America hasn't always been a safe space for us and for people who look like me. And so I am passionate about us going back into corporate as vendors and helping make it a safe space for those people who have zero desire to leave, because they deserve that. And so I want to show you how to package your products and your services and your speeches in a way that corporations can buy it. There's a certain language you use when selling to corporate and college clients, and there's a language you use when presenting your price. We're having a whole pricing lab to show you that language and to teach you how to have those conversations with ease and with confidence. I am of the opinion that confidence can be a synonym for information. Some people don't have enough confidence because they don't have enough information. If you want the information to be able to sell confident into these corporations and colleges and transform your business and your life, then you got to join me for Speak Your Way to Cash Live. Okay. So DM me if you have any questions about it. Otherwise, I will see you there. Thank you all so much for joining me. I'll be going live more this week. I haven't done it in a while. So make sure your notifications are turned on. And coming up soon, we'll be having our virtual book tour and announcing the folks who will be interviewing me for that tour. So you all will be hearing a lot more from me and about what we have coming up at Speak Your Way to Cash. But in the meantime, be blessed and remember that it only takes one yes to change your life. And you have over 1,400 minutes in every single day to get that yes and start living the life of your dreams. All right. Talk to you guys soon. Thank you for joining me.